Hello, my loves. It's great to be here with you again. Today is a very exciting day for me. Today, I'm starting this series of videos that's going to be continuous series. It's going to be more like a workshop where I will talk to you and I will tell you about my journey, how I have built my business. I have built my business in a very female way. What I found to be complete gimmick when it comes to women in business, and what I found to be working really well. How do I know? Why do I allow myself even to talk to about it? Because I have taken the journey all by myself. I have built my business all by myself. About 8 years ago, 9 years ago at this point, I found myself in New Jersey with two young children after my second divorce, completely broke. I had minus $12 because in that time Chase Bank used to charge $12 monthly payment, and I had $0 and they took the charge and there was minus $12 on my account, nothing in my wallet, and it was hard time. Now I have to tell you that it was me who brought me to that point. As I told you, I had two divorces in 7 years, and that will crush any woman. I don't blame anybody in anything, any hardship that ever happened to me. I allow everything, and I actually ask for everything. We're gonna go through those things. It's called the triggers. We're gonna go through the whole thing, but I had to pick myself up, and I had to build everything by myself. Now, by myself, I mean without any help. No family, no spouse, no boyfriend, nothing, zero. I have borrowed money. It was very, very scary to borrow money. Actually, the first money I borrowed, believe it or not, was $40 because I didn't have even that much. I had to go buy food, and I had to get myself on a public transportation to go to New York to start looking for the job. I will give you every piece of history so you could run it against yourselves. And I started my journey to self-discovery. Self-discovery is the most important thing, by the way, when it comes to business, female way, and that's why I'll ask you today to have a pen and paper, because there are going to be questions that I would love you to write down and answer to them when you're by yourself. So I'm completely crushed. I decided not to go to any kind of public assistance. However, if you are alone as a female, broken, have children on yourself, and you feel like you need public assistance, by all means, go do you. For my entity and for my identity, I chose not to do it. I chose to do it everything by myself. Now I understand it was my natural research to come to you and tell you about it. But in that time, it was very, very scary. And that's how it all started. Now I have made money before. I made good money before. I bought house. I did a lot of things, but I had no idea how to preserve it. And if anything, I just wasted everything away. Throughout the whole time that I'm telling you, I was excellent esthetician. I had a skill. I know some of you are going to be watching this video right now and say, I have no skill. I know I was one step ahead of you. I had a skill. I could find job anytime. I sometimes was so emotionally broken that I couldn't get myself out of bed to do it. We will address that too, by the way. We're going to address everything female way because of fluctuation of our hormones, how we are responding to that. This is just orientation to this workshop that I really would love you to join me, because it's going to give you a clear way to build yourself if you need that. So I'm finding myself broke. I found myself broken. I am good esthetician. I know I can find the job, but I'm desperate. And what I'm doing, I'm starting to work hard. By working hard, I mean I was working 7 days a week, taking between 6, 7, sometimes 10 clients a day. Yesterday, I made a little tiny short on my Instagram saying that hard work is unnatural for women. Women are not meant to work hard. Women are meant to work full-heartedly. And I got a lot of response from you. Most of it very positive because you understood me right. Some negative, somebody wrote to me that it's women like you that take take money from men. And in all truth and honestly, it couldn't be opposite. I don't look in anybody's hands. I don't take money from men. I mean, seriously, if your man wants to give you money, God bless, take it. But I rather generate my own income. And if I'm treated by my guy to something, then it's great. But it's his own will, and I don't need to look at anybody to support me. So whoever wrote this to me, the message you got from what I said was that you didn't got it correctly. I'm not looking at anybody to support me. I support myself. I just do it my way, and I do it female way. So I'm borrowing that money, $40. I'm buying pasta and sauce for the kids, and I'm going to Manhattan. And of course, I'm getting a job right away, because if there's anything I can really do in this life is lift faces with my own hands. Had jobs, had clients, still broke, working myself to the dust, completely miserable. And the more I work, I don't see any kind of economic relief. I still have to work 6 to 7 days a week. I have to tell you that when you're broke and when you're broken, very often people will emerge. This is a test ground, who will wear clothes of, oh, I want to help you. Be extremely careful. If right now you're in that place of despair, as I was, be very careful who wants to help you and how. People know that people in those places, when they're in those places, are very vulnerable, and they will agree to jobs that are paying very low. But there is a security in it, right? It's a security. So they will see that you have great skill, but they're going to offer you minimum wage. And if you're really scared, like I was, you will take it. I made a little notes for me. So whenever you're scared and you're offered something, you have to learn to say this to the person who offers it, even if you want to grab right away that thing, because people will manipulate you. I need to think about it. If when you say to the person, I need to think about it, they persuade you even stronger, lift up the voice a little bit and say, I need to think about it when I am by myself. I will get back to you with the answer. I need to think about it when I'm by myself, and I will get back to you with the answer. No matter how desperate you are, don't put yourself in that agree to all situation, even if you are about to agree to all, because minimum wage, people can compete for you. You can work at McDonald's for minimal wage. Keep that in mind. Write this down. We're going to have a couple of things that we're going to write down today. So started work for minimal wage, doing what I do. Got so many clients, was flooded with the clients. Tired, upset, couldn't collect myself, and consistently listening to the videos that are empowering. By the way, one of the people that I listened that I absolutely adore until today is Mr. David Goggins. I will write his name underneath. He's, I think he's ex-Navy SEAL. I don't think he's SEAL in duty anymore. I'm pretty sure he's retired. He's a very strong person who went through a lot. He was a motivational speaker. He's, I will leave his name. I don't know if he's going to speak to you or not. He's coming from masculine energy, but you know, we have both, and sometimes you need the jolt of masculine energy. So, but we're talking about building a business female way. That was just a little pickup that I wanted to tell you about. Listening to the videos, and everybody who gives you videos tells you take a second job, work harder. I'm taking extra jobs, I'm working hard, and nothing is changing except for one thing. I'm miserable. I am so miserable. I forgot who I am anymore. I work hard, I make barely any money. The quality of my work goes down, because when I come to work and I look in a book and I have there 10 people, I'm starting to preserve the energy from the first one, right? Because how am I going to do this? And this cycle continues for a little bit until I broke completely emotionally. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit this situation. I'll tell you that when I started to teach students, first I had the private students, then I had the smaller groups of students, and now I have a bigger groups of students. I teach students how to do facials because I am esthetician and I know precisely how to give excellent quality facial to the client and how to lift faces with the hand. But what I understood that my need was to share with them more than a facial. They didn't pay me to share more than a facial. They pay me to come and learn how I lift faces. But my need was to teach them business. And now I understand why. Because the whole time I was struggling and miserable, I knew how to lift faces. I had no idea though how to build business female way. I had no idea how to communicate female way, how to translate myself, my energy female way. Nobody teaches you that. Everybody teaches you one thing and one thing only: work harder. Ladies, work harder is a death sentence for the quality of your life. My agenda is in here is to make your daily existence on planet Earth while you're here as pleasurable as possible. Not only for yourselves, but for your loved ones. Because I know for a fact, the happier, more fulfilled woman is, the happier and more fulfilled everybody around her is. We are like lights. We are different physiological, biological, emotional structure. That's why when man and woman come together, we complete the cycle of the balance. It doesn't have to be man and woman. It could be woman and woman with more masculine and female energy, man and man with a masculine and female energy. I'm absolutely not trying to separate men and women. I think we are equal. We have a lot to offer. We are exactly equal. I'm not going against feminist ideas, but we are different in our own power. I don't think women are beneath men. I don't think we cannot run businesses. We can, I know, because I do it by myself. But I think that if we are going to take feminine way and female way to run business, we're going to have much better result. So what is female way of running business and what is male way of running business? See, the male way of running business is a vertical way. They have to step on each other. There is a competition going on. There is a testosterone going on. And for them to run ahead of each other, it's exciting. It gives them more fuel into the engine. And this is how they build themselves, on literally tugging each other down and step on each other and go up. And that brings working hard, working longer hours. Also, don't forget, most men don't have the emotional responsibilities we have in front of our family. They don't feel like they need to. Some of them, they're single fathers, great fathers, they do it. But that emotional obligation that we were inserted with when we were born to the planet Earth as a female, to take care of our offspring and to cater to others, they don't have inserted in them. They have a goal, they go there. Women are not like that. And if you are a woman who is trying to adopt that structure the way I did it, you're gonna crash the way I did it. What I found is women are vertical, horizontal structure. Men are vertical structure, women are horizontal structure. So for you to build business as a woman, you have to go horizontally. You don't have to run faster than anybody else and just step on everybody. You have to find your own light and spread that light outwards. And all the spreading of the light that you're going to do is going to recycle into your own light, and collectively together we can build businesses, we can build empires. Women have to be connected to build wealth. Men have to exclude themselves from the tribe to go on top. And that's the difference. If you will be connected, you don't need to work hard. Believe me, you just have to improve your skill in whatever you love to do the most. So this is why. So in my belief, there are two core beliefs that are we fed with that can pretty much ruin our lives. One is that we have to work hard. And the second is the Disney, the prince, who is going to come and save us. God bless you if you're going to find your prince who is going to come and save you while you're hiding somewhere. But in my experience, until you're hiding, nobody will find you. And the second thing is the work hard that I told you that's going to steal you from yourself. If you work so hard that you are running from one job to another and then home, you have to cook, clean, you don't have time to self-reflect, because by the end of the day, you're so tired. You're just gonna go to bed, like have that, wake up in the morning and keep running again. So there are two things that can completely ruin quality of life for a woman. One is working overly hard on things that she doesn't really want to do. And people will persuade you. People will try to make you believe that you have to work harder. And if you don't work hard and take a second job or third job, you're not going to get anywhere. It's complete BS. And the second that, you have to be Cinderella, stick around, wherever you are cleaning houses and Prince is going to find you. That's not going to happen, because you're going to bump into the Prince priorly. And by the way, fairy godmother is not coming either. However, there is such thing as a fairy godmother. She exists right in here. You just have to get her out of yourself. And we're going to talk about that too. You have a fairy godmother. You just don't know how to talk to her and how to call her. So being a great in whatever you do, being a great esthetician, being a great nail technician, being a great accountant, if nobody knows about you, it's going to get you nowhere. You have to acquire business skills by shining your light to other women. But before we even get to the process, how it's done, I need you to answer yourself a couple of questions. And I'm going to give you my example. This video, it becomes a little bit too long, but I need to show you the whirlpool of how it will work. I promise you're going to get you places. You're going to get a lot of self-discovery, and you're going to get power from this workshop. You're going to become more and more self-assured and powerful entity, because I'm taking you from point A to point B. I'm taking you through the whole course of what happened to me and how I did it. Now, your journey might be different and you might operate differently, but these questions will always produce you the feeling of power, because the more you know thyself, the more you will be able to operate thyself in the best possible way. Remember, the agenda of this workshop is to make your daily existence in this planet Earth as a female entity as pleasurable as possible. Look at our form. We are curvy. Look how we walk. We walk completely different from the men. If we allow ourselves to be who we are, if we try not to compare ourselves to men or compete with men in a workplace, I'm not saying we cannot have better businesses than men. I'm just saying try to be even to them, equal to them. We're not going to achieve much, or at least we're not going to achieve it with pleasure. And remember, the main source, the main cause for you to come on the planet Earth as a female entity is to operate through pleasure. This is what we bring to this world. Pleasure of taking care of yourself, your children, your husband, your business. If you don't really enjoy it, you're going to reject it. Just don't ever dismiss your biological structure. You have to take those initiatives that you came to this world with, those common qualities, and you have to build on them. You shouldn't shut yourself down. We are taught as a girl to shut yourself down. Don't talk too much. You shouldn't want this. Who the heck are you to tell me what I should or should not want? Right? Unless I'm crossing your freedom and your boundaries, I'll figure out what I want. Nobody can tell me what I should and shouldn't want. But you will be said that. You will be said that because people will try to rule you. So number one thing that I need you to write down today is I need you to go back into your childhood memory and find out what your first triggers was. Those triggers are something that is connected to a strong emotion that have been ruling your life until today. I will give you my example. When I was about 6 years old, I remember I was in my bed falling asleep. I got a bad grade, and I remember my relatives, my family standing there saying those words. This is the message. We spent so much money on you. True, they did. I had tutors and everything. Family did very well, and they did invested in me financially. So we spent it so much money on you, and basically it's such a waste because you are not living up to our expectation. And I remember those words hitting me right in here, and I said, when I gonna grow up, nobody will ever tell me that. I'm never gonna rely on no one. I'm gonna take care of everything by myself, and I'm gonna take care of myself by myself. That was like a tender, it hit me. And now I understand that the belief was formed. By the way, if you have a little extra time, I really recommend for you to read book. It's not an easy read, or you can listen on YouTube. It's called Body Keeps the Score. How those moments really make you who you are and how they rule your life. So this was the first core belief that if you're gonna do something for me and then mention it, and every time I'm not gonna live up your expectation, you're gonna rub it on my face, you might as well don't do it. And when I'm going to grow up, I'm gonna give everything to myself by myself, so nobody can tell me this, because this is hurts. That hurts my very soul. And that's exactly what happened. The way I structured my life, I always took care of myself. In fact, I was working for my family for 18 years, and now I understand why. Subconsciously, I was repaying all the investment that they did in me, so I would feel myself clear. For my entity, it's very important not to owe nothing to anybody, and I'll pay you back just because my integrity is more important for me than any riches in the world. I will work 18 years for you if I have to, but I will pay you back. Let's go a little deeper, okay? Let's go just a little deeper. I know some of you will relate with me. I was growing up without father. Usually father figure is that person that is giving to you as a little girl or little boy things without you asking for it. Usually father figure makes you feel like you're worthy just because you exist. You're worthy just because you are his offspring and just because you are. I never got that sense. That emotion was never installed in me because I didn't have father. I've seen father about 4 times in my life. So that receiving notion, to be on receiving side just because I exist, does not exist in my entity. That program is not installed in me. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to, dig deeper. I'm trying to understand what it would feel like to have a father, what it would feel like to have a male entity who would do things for you. So far, I don't have great success with this. So that I didn't have, it wasn't installed in me. And on top of it, I was told that we have spent money on you and you have been disappointment. So the next belief is formed, and the belief is I'll do everything by myself. And until today, I know that sometimes I sabotage myself to crash and fall and rise and fall, right? Just to tell myself over and over, I did it, and I did it by myself. Inside my head, I'm a phoenix bird, to be honest with you. So I want to change this picture, and I will, and hopefully we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it through the process of this workshop. I will be able to change the lens through what I look at it. So the first core belief that I remember inserted, imprinted in my entity was, I'll do everything by myself. The second one I remember, I was about 9-year-old, and my grandmother, who was absolutely everything for me, she was my light, my love, my goddess, my everything. She told me, because she raised me, right? She told me that my mother, biological mother, she was pregnant, and she's about to have the sibling, baby girl or baby boy. They was hoping for the boy. Girl was born, but they adored her. And this is what she told me. She told me, and when that baby will be born, I'm going to love her more than I love you. Guys, it's impossible for me to tell you what it made me feel like. I remember earth opening and me falling through it. Now I understand that for the child, it's extremely important to have a value and love of the caregiver, whether it's biological mother or grandmother or somewhere who it is. It's very important to have that place that's unshaken, that she knows it's always going to be hers. In my case, the world, the earth, the soil had been swept away underneath my feet, and I thought that I'm going to die. That's it, my life is over. What belief also it inserted in me? I am replaceable. I am replaceable. And underneath the belief I am replaceable, what's underneath that belief? I don't have value. I have no value. I'm replaceable. My whole life, I had to struggle with that motion. What did I do? Well, how now? What's the good thing? I built on it. The reason I'm in front of you right now is because of that. The reason I found it in my guts to come in front of you and open my heart and open my soul and tell you my story is because I know there is lots of girls like me who felt replaceable and who felt not valuable. And believe it or not, it gave me courage. From one side, it killed me and diminished me. And from the other side, it gave me tremendous amount of courage because in here, in core of course, I knew I was something special. But I was made feel that I'm replaceable. Now we have a conflict. We have conflict of two emotions. Am I replaceable or I'm something special? And it took me years and years to understand I am what I choose to be. I am what I believe I am, not what people say, but it takes years of failure. So I need you to write in a journal 2 triggers that you think, those situations, those moments, those episodes in life that you think have built you to who you are right now. And the second thing I want you to write, I have a notes in here, that's why I look now. Now we have to build who we want to be. Remember, who we want to be is exactly who you already are. Because if you don't have that embedded in you, you would not have a will to be that person. So dedicate a couple of minutes a day, collect all the qualities that you admire in people, what you really like, who you really are, and write it down. We're going to work on it later. So right now we have to write down 2 episodes that really impacted you and the qualities that you want to accumulate. And the third thing that I want you to write down is when you were fantasizing as a child about yourself, who you wanted to be then. So if you haven't seen my video on the roses and diamonds, I'm gonna leave right underneath the video link to that video because it's gonna give you it's gonna open a little bit of the door for you to understand how to go into self-discovery. Remember, this whole workshop is about for you to discover yourself through my story, because I think my story is very common for women. If you're not gonna discover who you truly really are in your core of course, it will be very difficult for you to find success. If you will, it will be very easy for you. People are going to be drawn to you. People will want to be next to you. People will want to come across you. I promise you. Trust me on this one. God forbid, I'm not psychologist. I'm not psychiatrist. I'm none of those. I'm not claiming. I'm a woman who has fallen and risen enough times to have a data on how it could be done and who's willing to bring it to you. Very often people say certain things, like the Gloria Vanderbilt, right? She said, follow your bliss. Great saying. Most people don't understand what she was talking about. Bliss is different thing to different people. For you to follow your bliss, first you have to figure out who you are and what your bliss is. Most of us have no idea what our bliss is. So we will have to figure out two during this workshop. Oh my God, this video happened to be so long. I was not planning for it to be long. I will learn how to make them shorter. I also have ordered a top-notch microphone to join me. Building a business female way requires for you to know who you are first, what your triggers are, and what your true identity is. Once you figure this out, you will build your business like this, I promise you. So for the, I don't want to call it homework because it's a very unglamorous way to put it, but for a little work that you have to do between this video and the next video that I'm gonna publish, I need you to write 2 triggers that you think made you who you are. It's very important. I need you to write down what qualities you would like to accumulate as an entity, and I would need you to remember who you wanted to be as a little girl, and I will leave you underneath the link to the diamonds and roses so you would understand what I'm talking about. I hope everything I said makes sense to you. If you have any questions or conversations, I'm not going to be able to answer your questions in the DMs, because don't forget, I have my students that I watch like a hawk, and I need to be there for them all the time. But if you're going to write underneath this video in comments what your experiences were, if you want to share, and then other people can come and talk over those experiences, I think it will be easier for you to absorb this information. If you have any questions, also please write underneath the comments. And if you find this workshop valuable, because I certainly don't want to take your time, I just know how to do certain things in life. Being 50 any day now, through experience, I know how to do certain things in life. I really want to share it with you because I know it's gonna enrich your daily existence as a female entity on the planet Earth. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, and I cannot wait to see you in next video.